Now, we would like to take the opportunity to invite our faculty member and HR Summit Coordinator of NIA, Dr. Shushma Chaudhary, for summing up the event. Before that, let me give a brief introduction about her. Dr. Shushma is a PhD holder in management. She is a certified professional coach for transformation from leadership that works under International Coaching Federation in USA. She also has over 20 years of experience in teaching and leading management schools in organizational behavior and HRM areas. Now we request ma'am to please grace the stage.
Thank you, and I'll make it very brief, very brief. So, just highlights. So, this panel, I'm not going to sum up because it's very fresh in all your minds. So, we started the day with a keynote address by Mr. Prithvi Shergill. He joined us from Singapore, and something very interesting he mentioned that I don't call this as a new normal, I call this as a never normal world. So, we are into never normal world. So, what do we do? So, he said, some basics we need to adopt is in case just so we need to have three hats. One hat is that of a people developer, a business operator, and a value creator. So if we can do that, I think we can wade through any never normal world. So that was very interesting. Then we shifted to panel one, which was about outlook and strategies. It was a very interesting combination. The panelists were CEOs, CEO, HR, CHROs, and a consultant. So it was a diverse group. And they mentioned, and when you look at the outlook, see what one thing I need to really admire for all panelists, they were very candid in saying that this works for me and this doesn't work for me, and I'm not sure about these things. So I think I'm seeing a lot of humility and a lot of acceptance and what do I say, a lot of awareness about how employee experience is changing and how pandemic has impacted and what else we can do. So those kind of candid conversation I observed in all panels, especially panel one. Something very interesting happened when they say that the great resignation did not only happen in pandemic, it was there, it was simmering, it just got triggered out of proportion during pandemic, and it is rooted in our socio-economic fabric, and we cannot ignore that as an organization, and we need to invest a lot in reskilling, upskilling, building trust. And I think the same got spoken in last panel as well. The second panel, it was more on, we had a very interesting theme about how do we engage people, how do we actually focus on retention rather than attrition. That was the main question. And the panel started with something called as pulse survey. How are they doing it? How do they analyze data? How do they take actions on data? And if those actions are not taken, then it just becomes lot of fofa when it comes to pulse surveys, and it doesn't help. That was very interesting. And I think that moodometer as a concept was very interesting. One of the panelists spoke. Then one more panelist said that rather than focusing on only why people are leaving me, I would also like to focus and explore why people stay with me. And I think that will give me more cues on what needs to be done more than not. Third panel, I think that panel answers some of the questions you are carrying in mind, that compensation, structure, growth, and how all that impacts the staying part and retention part. Very interesting. Most of them were hardcore recruitment specialists. They had some tough words and tough advices for you. Having said that, they said something very interesting is rather than only looking at vertical growth and money, can we look at vertical growth and horizontal growth and create more opportunities? So that was another very interesting aspect. The last panel which we had, so few things really caught my attention. I'll just, for the summarizing, I will use it. Of course, 4 C's. There's a lot of talk on employee experience, social experience, role experience, company experience, I think, and very simple definition of the way we work, of culture. I think that if we can keep it in mind, and as a researcher, I immediately had a conceptual model in my mind that how can I take interviews and look at the way we work as a culture concept and how it gets reflected into social role and company experience. So our case study will be out in next 6 months. Thank you. Thanks to this panel. Another thing which I really liked when they spoke about is culture is also depends on what you want. And so when I was studying my labor relations, I think this was never spoken, that there can be an employee voice to such an extent that the organization turns its head and looks at what else I can do to help these employees. So that was very, very interesting. I would like to end here that whenever my students appear for placements, and being an OB faculty, you know how organizational behavior faculty is becomes an agony aunt many times, and I'm happy to play that role. No problem. What I've seen, and I always tell them when they say that, "Ma'am, why I was not selected?" So I was used to always tell them that, see, selection is a matter of cultural fit rather than being the best. Okay. And I think the panel validated what I felt throughout. So I'm on right track when I say this statement. And thank you so much, all the panelists and students, for putting up such a great show. Over to the anchors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sushma ma'am.
Now, now before we call upon Ms. Suchika Yadav to deliver the vote of thanks, I would like to introduce her a little. She is the part of faculty fraternity at National Insurance Academy and also the HR Summit coordinator. Ms. Suchika brings with her more than 12 years of experience, a postgraduate in HR and also pursuing doctorate in area of organization management. We welcome you, ma'am, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Sachin and Jaya. It's actually so overwhelming and heartening to present the vote of thanks for the summit where such interesting insights, knowledge, experiences were shared today. So, on behalf of National Insurance Academy, I would like to offer my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to Mr. Prithvi Shergill for his keynote address, all the moderators and speakers who took out time today to share their valuable insights, our director, Mr. G. Srinivasan, for his continued support, and Principal PGDM, Dr. Sanjay Mali, Mr. Atul Sharma, Chief Administrator, and the entire team of administration, publication, IT, electricals for extending their support in organizing the entire summit. I would also like to thank Dr. Vaishali Bhambure and the PGP office. And most importantly, Dr. Sushma Chaudhary, my co coordinator. She has always been the biggest support, not just for me, but for the entire team. So, thank you so much, ma'am. Finally, I would like to thank a big thanks to all the student committee members of the HR Summit, and as well as all the other PGDM students who have tirelessly worked in organizing, conducting, and to ensure that everything goes on seamlessly well. So, thank you so much, as well as the entire audience who were with us throughout since the morning. I'm sure this summit has given some key learnings and insights to all of us, and you found it useful. Lastly, if I have missed upon anyone, thanks to you too. All those who have contributed for making the summit successful, either directly or indirectly. So thank you so much. I hope it was an enriching experience for all of us. And yes, I'm sure all of you are already aware that next month we have the insurance summit in Mumbai on the 10th. So we'll have a grand show there as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ruchika, ma'am.
With this, we officially conclude the event. See you all next time.